and cross product. Oh, both of our runners have elected to hold down. Nobody is losing 15.2 seconds here, and we are off and running. So, as was mentioned before, swords are not guaranteed at the beginning here, so that shell flute means that there is a fair chance that we may see them being forced to go across the ocean to get that first sword. And yeah, getting the change spell. Okay!
It's looking like Yellow Flight may be in their future. I'm really hoping it is.
That'd be beautiful. At that point, they're going to need to find both whatever the fog lamp item is for the trade-in quest, as well as a pair of rabbit boots. That's going to be what's going to be required in order for Ghetto Flight to get them across the ocean. So this should be interesting if that's the case, because we were just mentioning that it's kind of disappointing to not have seen it, because it is a really cool trick, and it's not exactly the easiest thing. It is a one-frame trick. So, to see people being forced to do it is a definite, measure of skill, how quickly you can get it. Yeah, even experienced runners don't get it that quickly.
Yeah, it's definitely tricky. Sometimes I get it first try, sometimes it takes me 2 minutes to get it. It just depends on how that day's going, but that was definitely one of the flags I was most excited about when I saw this flag set for the first time. Because it just is fun to do, I feel like.
Absolutely. And it's a windmill key. So I did notice something that Gozen did there. He checked the item shop and noticed that the warp boots price was pretty cheap. It was 70 gold, which was basically the same price that they saw in Leaf. So he knows he's going to be able to get relatively cheap warp boots there in Portoa. And even if they end up having to go through and trigger the kidnapping early, they will still have access to relatively cheap warp boots.
Always good to check ahead on that, because sometimes you can delay the kidnapping if you like, and if you need to, but in this case it will not need to.
You gotta love that spider on the bridge there. Spider is beautiful. Cross opting to go ahead and walk back. Gozen, meanwhile, taking the wild warp route. So he was slightly behind. We'll see who gets to the cave first.
The guy's trying to slow him down a little bit.
Yeah, that spider playing some good defense. And there's a Carissa plant. Ooh, maybe not ocean right away. Gozen getting a little turned around there, realizing he was heading up the wrong direction. He's going to be rewarded with his...
I think neither player made a checkpoint, so this should be interesting.
Yeah, in the case of Gozen, that's a long walk. And there's a lot of poisonous enemies in this room. The red brains, the red slugs, and the red mushroom are all poisonous, so... Fortunately, even though Cross took 2 hits, nobody was poisoned. Ivory statue. Well... That might actually be our trade-in item.
That's what I was about to say, yeah, I think it might be.
And rabbit boots! Oh, yes. Oh, here we go! This is looking like a Ghetto Flight seed. Come on, Ghetto Flight. Yep.
Or fire.
Well, they're officially out of progressionary checks at this point. Their only option is to go and find out whether or not that ivory statue is going to be what's required to give to that boat owner to get them access to that ocean, because they're out of checks. This is beautiful.
They're not using warp boots. Did they not buy warp boots really?
Gozen did buy a pair of warp boots. I'm guessing he's just going to hang on to them because, the walk's not terribly long. And, the warp boots, without a sword, you may want to hang on to them just in case. It's not the worst idea to walk here. I mean, if you look at their gold at this point, neither one of them has the ability to stay at an inn. And so because of that, if they can, Oh, it's the Carissa plant. It's our turnip.
I would have risked it for the biscuit, but I'm kind of a risky player like that, so...
Yeah, I mean... I'd do the same thing and be like, oh, hey, I can warp there. But here we go.
Oh, Cross does not have warp boots. That's a bunch of birds. I don't know how much Gozen has actually done this glitch, so I know he has done it, but...
Yeah, I'm not sure, to be honest. I haven't...
really forget to check the love pendant spot. That's my next question.
Cross getting a little lost on the ocean, heading back around. It's going to open up Evil Spirit Island. And now he's going to go check that last location he needs.
Gozen's not checking that spot. I guess he could do it after he glitches, but... Nope, maybe he is.
Yeah, Cross going for the Ghetto Flight right here. I think it's actually much more difficult to do here than it is at some of the other locations because with he got it, but with the diagonal coastline, I find it to be difficult to do myself. I think it's easier to do if you can come in at a straight angle. Look at
I'm sure they weren't doing it at the gold statue spot because they had no way to kill that enemy there. But you could do it next to Kensu's hut, you're right.
Yeah, and look at this. Got a glowing lamp. At the,
they both got it relatively quickly. I honestly didn't expect that.
Ooh, careful, Gozen. That Kraken, he's wanted it. So when they find that broken statue, they're going to have an additional turn in here. Well, I thought Gozen was going to make a trek into Evil Spirit Island. I was going to be like, don't do it! So Cross making use of the, what we call Pity MP, but what it actually is when you do not have a sword, when you reset the game, like to use a checkpoint, what happens is that the game will give you 20 MP, as long as you do not have a sword. Once you get a sword, the game reduces it down to 1 MP, just to make sure that if you get into a situation where you like land on Joel, for example, that you're not soft locked. You can actually make progress at that point.
Cross still has his shield equipped.
Well, he doesn't have a sword, so it's not the end.
I know, but it's still funny.
And he,
Brokahana.
This is correct. He does have that ivory statue, so Brokahana should be... What do you... Oh, wow! What a play! Look at this! That was beautiful.
Oh,
man, Gozen doesn't even... He's not even thinking about that at this point. That's gonna give... It's gonna give Cross a monster advantage. Like, a monster advantage at this point. So, not only did Cross get Flight, which is going to give him access to, like, 11 checks or something at this point. But it also, you know, with Gozen not going and getting it himself, he's basically just going to be playing extreme catch-up at this point until he realizes what he missed out. Yeah, Cross finding teleport is big.
And Gozen just has access to that spot and then the one spot in Oasis, right? At this point,
that is correct. Yeah, he's probably thinking to himself, "What did I miss?" Cross, meanwhile, you know, like I said, he's got the check at this point. He's got 3 checks to make here in Oasis Cave. He has 1 across the river once he gets to the other room. He's got 5 in Carmine's basement. He can go back to the original area, and once he gets a sword, he's going to have access to basically everything else. So yeah, he's got checks for days here. Now, I'm not sure why Cross is going here.
Yeah, I think he just realized too.
Yeah. He does need a Thunder Sword to get in there. So now Gozen's confused. Because now he's going
outside Carmine, and then he doesn't make a checkpoint. Has to run all the way back.
Yeah.
I see that in Cross's future.
Yeah, unfortunately, in Gozen's case here, until he goes back and talks to Brokahana, he's going to be wandering for a little bit here. Hopefully he... Oh! Mimic number 1. There it is. Cross taking the death. Fortunately, though, there was a checkpoint when he came back into the room, so no big...
I think Gozen maybe realized what he missed.
I believe he actually just did. Now, here's the really fun thing. Is now that he is going to get that flight spell, he's probably going to think to himself, I could have done this right away. No.
Yeah, he won't be very good about that.
Yeah. And now he knows what he has to do.
Fog lamp.
Fog lamp, huh? So that's actually the same as it was the last race too, interestingly enough.
Make the checkpoint do it. Oh, he doesn't know.
He either doesn't know or forgot or just wow.
One. Mimic
That's
number 3.
That is 3 mimics in a row for Cross. You see the way he approached the chest.
I did.
So 3 out of 4 checks in a row were mimics. That's amazing. Barrier. Great success.
Lacking on my tracker here.
And he's gonna go ahead and wild warp out. Now, here's the thing with doing this. So he wild warped out. He's gonna have to, you know, warp back over there. He's gonna have to do a couple of resets, and he's basically going right back in. Oh no, he's gonna have to go check the one chest and Hydra that he's got access to, and Chiron at this point.
Chiron.
So, yep, he's got two more checks to.
Wait, what happened to Gozen? I missed it. He just...
I believe he got mimicked.
Oh, now he got slimed.
Oh boy. No, he didn't get mimicked. I'm sorry. He must have taken a death from one of the monsters in the cave, because if it would have been, there was no mimic in Oasis Cave there, and if he'd have died to this one, it would have been back in. What was Zebu's item? I didn't see it. I looked
Magic
away
ring.
over at Gozen's. Okay, cool. So nothing
but
special.
not progression.
Yep, absolutely. Gozen, meanwhile, making his way into the backside here. Gonna find his mimic.
Oh, I can't wait to see this. He is our mimic master, after all.
Yep. So Cross now gonna jump across the river that Gozen was hoping he could get across before, but realized, nope, do not have access. And we're gonna find out what that last item is. It's a sword or something that's gonna gain them access to something else. Gozen, meanwhile, finding all the mimics.
Got the ball of fire and I think the ball of thunder, right?
Yep. So are we going to see a sword of fire? Are we going to see a sword of thunder? It's fire. So that's going to give him access to the Waterfall Cave and access to Cordell Plains and Mount Saber South as well. And with the flight spell, they're going to be able to get basically everything there in one fell. Yeah, that was actually the last possible check based on everything that they have for a sword. So I don't think we as viewers can ask for much else out of this seed. It delivered a great start. Cross gonna opt to going straight for Cordell Plains and Bryn Mawr. Because he's got flight, he's gonna have access to Aurelius' basement. He's gonna be able to go up the slope
Oh no,
and get whatever's
Gozen.
there. Goes and take it to death.
Didn't see how many mimics he found before that.
I believe he found all of them.
It was
The
on
sword-
Hydra Steve.
Yeah, the sword was in the last chest, the second one in on Mount Hydra. The last possible location they had access to. Cross, realizing he's at 14 scaling here, and figures, hey, you know what? I can kill a few of these enemies. I don't care if I have to tank them or not. I want the... Yeah, having such high scaling at the very beginning without a sword means that when you finally do get that sword, you can nail a couple of quick levels real fast.
You're definitely showing me why saving those warp boots was a good idea, because I could use them to come back to Goa.
Right. Yeah, wild warping out would have been less than stellar. Gozen now realizing, okay, well, now I'm going to have to make that play I wanted to make earlier but couldn't because I didn't have flight. But you can't really blame him because when he did find that flight spell, he had a lot of checks to make there in Goa, so he made a good play.
Right.
But you know what? I was actually wrong. There were 2 more plays that they could have made. One, they have change, so they could have gotten Dio, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, they could have gotten Dio, you're
And
right.
also
Well, they don't
had
have telepathy, though,
pyramid.
right?
Yep, they also have the chest and the pyramid. Dio does require telepathy, however.
But you're right, they
but
could have
no,
gotten
they could not
Pyramid.
have. But yes, it could have been the pyramid chest. Almost forgot nobody went over to do that. Gozen now going to make his way up Hydra. He's going to check that last spot, and he's going to find that Sword of Fire, and he's going to be off.
They cross-find in the tornado bracelet spot.
I believe he found paralysis? I think it was paralysis. Was it paralysis?
I didn't see it there just now.
Maybe
Unless he
I
reset
thought
it
was
out,
a
maybe he
spell.
did.
I thought it was a spell of some kind. I forgot. Look
Oh, he
at
didn't
that.
make it to that chest. Oh, okay. I thought he went up there to get it, but I guess he bailed out.
Oh, okay.
He found death. Okay. I missed it.
That's a perfect thing. He found death.
Oh, we found the flail guy. Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Did he find the flail guy, or did the flail guy find him? I think the answer is yes.
Did a really bad job watching. What did he find in the basement just now? I keep looking away at the wrong time.
Right? I don't think it was anything particularly spectacular. Look at that! A double sword get. Gozen finding his Sword of Fire, and Cross coming up with a Sword of Water. So, Cross realizing that, Akahana wants that ivory statue, and he trades it in for Dio's pendant, so now, with that flight spell, he's basically got infinite MP. No more worrying about heading back to the inn to keep himself going with the flight. That's a great find at this stage in the game.
Definitely. Goes and also going to Saber West is triggering the kidnapping, looks like.
Yeah.
I probably would have gone Waterfall, but it's me.
Yeah,
On the
I
other side, the
mean...
map makes more sense in a way, but I always like to check it first, because...
Right, there definitely are more checks for them to get on the Mount Saber side than there would be at the waterfall. Okay, there's only 3 checks there, whereas here, they could full clear the mountain plus get what ended up being 2 items from Amazonas, as well as the Caledon spot. So, oh, look at that! Sword of Water is what works for the flail guys. So Cross gonna have no problems making it through this cave this time. Gozen setting a checkpoint. He's going to head right up without checking anything on Cordell
And
Plains.
get poisoned right away.
Pinch. Finding a crab immediately.
These crabs are the worst.
Yeah, I mean, they're in the same category with red slimes and, every other annoying enemy that, poisons and moves randomly. And they just... I think what it is that there's a couple of different enemies that have slightly different calls that they get for movement.
Goes and also finding the flail guys.
He sure did.
Very
Cross,
interesting.
nothing
Neither of them
special.
checked that spot before they went to do all these checks, because usually we go to the town first and check that spot on the way.
Right. But
They
goes
both
and
chose not to do that, which is very...
high-fiving.
Hey, don't go in there, man! Don't go in there unprepared.
I think he's gonna go for just tanking them down to kill them. Or not.
Ooh.
Because Flail Guy knows your moves.
You don't have to do this, Gozen. Of course, he doesn't know that.
I'm surprised he doesn't go to the southern cave, which will, you know, as we can see here over on Cross's side, a much nicer monster set. Ah, now he's opting to do that.
Mimic. Is that 4?
That is, 4, yes. Gonna get our first look at, the Mount Saber South items here, on the right side.
You want to explain the rabbit boots change in the randomizer versus vanilla game?
So in the vanilla game, you saw him hopping around with the rabbit boots. The rabbit boots received an additional effect that you can charge while moving, which is something you can't normally do. And so, you know, you'll notice Cross is just able to charge his sword while he's running at full speed, which is something that was added specifically to the rabbit boots for the randomizer here.
It's very fun to use. I actually love it when I have nothing else to use, so I can use it.
And yeah, that medical herb there was basically vanilla. That's a normal medical herb location there.
Did Gozen die again?
No, Gozen... yeah, actually he might have. Cross is just playing, you know, full speed ahead. No regard for safety at this point. He is just going for it. But then again, he does have a lot of ways to heal, so he's not, you know, worried too much about it. Plus, he realizes, hey, I'm poisoned, I need to move. Once again, we have a storm bracelet.
Oh.
Oh, hey, that's actually good. Because that gives him access to 3 of the 4 swords. He also has the Ball of Thunder already, so, you know, he's going to be able to go straight into the front side of Goa. He can go check Mado. He can go get the Power Ring spot. That sort of thunder opens up quite a bit. Not to mention, with those rabbit boots, he's going to have this nice spread attack that's going to let him take care of most enemies, since the vast majority of the enemies in the game are vulnerable to thunder.
They
So,
also have,
you know...
Carmine open at this choose to do that.
Right.
Just 3 items, basically.
Exactly. Cross gonna make his way to Sahara here. We're gonna get to see the pyramid. We're gonna get to see what the 3 items in the pyramid are, and he's gonna activate a warp point, and we'll see what he does from there. Now,
yeah, Gozen's definitely at a disadvantage not having that water sword.
Yeah, something else worth noting here. Oh, he never went to Bryn Mawr.
No,
So he doesn't have the warp point. Oh, that's a bummer. Yeah,
Yeah,
Cross
that really
at this
stinks.
point. Yeah, Cross kind of has a commanding lead here at this point. His routing has just been slightly better than Gozen's up to this point, and it's really paid off in spades. Wow. Pro axe thrower with the perfectly timed throw to bash Cross on the way in there.
Telepathy. Gozen just found that in the waterfall cave.
Now that is actually good, because next when he decides to hit Sahara up, he's going to have access to Dio, and it's going to point them towards the town of Oak once they find a hazmat suit.
It also gives them access to Saber North because they have teleport.
That is true.
Although with Light and the Sword of Fire, they could already go Telbesk and do it backwards if they wanted to, assuming they have the right sword.
Well, but they don't have the key to the prison.
Oh, you're right, never mind. Kept thinking there was something else.
Yep. Not quite yet. And our first boss of the day is Dragon 1. As mentioned in the last race. Oh! Okay, Cross was ever so slightly out of position there and got clipped by Dragon's Lightning, which, you know, after having seen what the game does as far as hitboxes are concerned, that lightning hitbox is the worst. It's not even close to what you see. It's terrible. But, you know, it's not... Cross is not doing the normal manipulation, but he doesn't have any problems taking him down the second time. He's rewarded with a magic ring.
Did you catch what Gozen just found?
I didn't. I was watching the fight.
He found the first bow.
Ooh, hey, look at that moon. Cross, meanwhile, picking up the Storm Bracelet off of Azteca there. And that means not only does he have the strongest thunderstorm for the entire game, but he also is going to be able to make that trade-in at the top of Mount Saber South to Tornell. That was big.
Oh, okay, there it goes and checking Dio now.
Yep. And it's a consumable.
It's just a consumable. Ah.
Yeah, so far, Cross's routing really has been pretty spot on. Seems like every play... Yeah, every play that he's made has basically paid off so far. And in the right order, too. Not having to do a ton of backtrack.
Interesting. Doing the pyramid play, so he'll get his Storm Bracelet very shortly.
Yeah, interesting here. Cross opting to walk all the way through the caves instead of just flying up the slope. So that's an interesting play there. Not entirely sure why. Yeah, he might not realize that that's a way he can go.
He was kind of out of the loop for a little while in this game, so.
That's true. He was very involved in the Super Metroid, a number of different Super Metroid tournaments, and so I'm not terribly surprised. But yeah, he may not know that that's even a thing. It's not super fast, but it is a little bit faster.
It definitely saves some time.
It's not like he's playing from behind, so.
Antidote. It was for nothing. I was a little surprised he made that play, considering all the other stuff he can do right now, but...
Hey, may as well get it out of the way before he forgets about it.
It's true. Very true. Nobody's checked rage yet, right?
You know, as you're mentioning that, I think that's what Cross is going to do right now, because he's certainly not going to the Crystalis plant cave without Sword of Wind, so I think that's what he's doing. He was going to try to kill that Medusa, but the Medusa was like, Sword of Thunder, please. It looks like Gozen's going to go back into Goa and take down Carmine. That's my guess as to what his next play is going to be.
Sure, he'll check the power ring spot first as well.
Maybe, yeah. Little does he know that, you know, he's left that Sword of Water alienated over there sitting in the grass for the last 15 minutes.
Oh man, if he ends up losing this race and he watches the VOD, he's going to feel so bad.
He might. But then again, it may not be a huge deal. We don't know.
It might not. We'll see.
Kind of is going to depend on what bosses, you know, have what vulnerabilities. Because with Flight, water's not progression, really. It just will depend on what bosses it is. The magic of Flute of Lime. Look at that.
I'm gonna switch.
Yeah. You know, I've as Steve mentions in chat, if it turns out to be a Gozen spot, we might have to change the name of the Kaladan spot into the Gozen spot.
Gozen must have gotten something good from powering spot because he's not resetting.
Yeah, it was a ball of wind.
Ball of wind.
Yep. Cross, meanwhile, nothing special.
And Cross entering Waterfall Cave will find his telepathy and Bow of Moon very soon.
Absolutely. Yeah, goes and found the ball of wind, but who needs that when sword charge glitches on? Just give me the sword, I'm good. We already have Storm Bracelet. What else do you need? Just glitch it through. Let's go. Now that's one of the few things that hasn't really come into play yet, is that, you know, because it's technically not logically part of the game's, you know, routing as far as sword charge glitch is concerned. It is just an availability for those who decide they want to play out of logic and or, you know, take down a boss, you know, with that they don't have necessarily the right equipment for. That's basically what it's there for. It's for choice at this point. It's not for necessary routing. Gozen did not have his flight spell on. He tried to jump into the statue, but he also has barriers, so who cares? Oh, never mind. He might, because he has no mana. Cross picked up, I think, eyeglasses right there. Is that what that was? I'm not sure.
Don't think so. I thought it was consumable earlier. I could be wrong.
Might have been. It seems like every time I look over at the other screen today, in the last seed. Look at that. Oh, Sword
of Wind.
And the Sword of Wind.
Let's just say none of the bosses are weak to water. This could be a huge thing right now.
Well, I mean, you know, that Carmine kill, getting both the speed boots and the Sword of Wind means Gozen's got a ton of checks, you know, that he can go and do. We'll see how long it takes him to make his way back over to Cordell Plains there.
I thought we'd at least check Mado, but I guess we didn't want to.
Well, I think Sho said it best. Did you want to go to Mado? No? I don't blame him. Just saying, I don't blame him.
I don't blame him either.
Cross gonna check that power ring location now, and he's gonna find his ball of wind.
I mean,
Gozen, meanwhile,
in level 2 charges of most of the swords, I would have checked it.
Yeah, why not? Gozen's gonna go finish clearing out the vampire cave here. And that's actually probably what's gonna lead him back to Cordell Plains, where he's probably gonna find his Sword of Water.
Bet you're 100% right.
Hey, opal statue. Dude, the bats. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry they weren't butterflies, but bats are not much better.
I love how you're thinking the same thing as me.
Oh man, the golem though, with the strongest plays.
He tried.
He did. He didn't try. He did. Took off a chunk of head and clocked him with it. We're gonna get our first look at our vampire here. I'm a bit surprised he's opting to kill him with this Sword of Wind instead of the Thunder Sword, considering it would do twice as much damage, and he could just Lag Storm and finish it. Oh, no, he doesn't.
Just realized he hasn't mana for Lag Storm. Yeah.
Yeah, there he goes. Yeah. And Cross, heading into Carmine himself, gonna find his speed boots and his Sword of Wind. One quick Lag Storm, we're down one boss. And Gozen picks up his Dio's pendant now from Akahana. Ooh, that's a super cheap pair of warp boots. 341 gold at 24 scaling. Good God, that's cheap.
Oh, that Gozen's gonna find that.
And now, all 4 swords have been located by both runners. You know,
Gozen making his Amazon's play now.
it's pretty interesting that, you know, Gozen here very quickly caught up in items, and actually at this point, I think there's a key item here. He may actually take the key item lead at this.
I think in the basement. Eyeglasses, I think.
Yep, there it is. So he now actually has a key item lead. Well, Mato is not weak to thunder, and Cross says nope, and he is gone. Dunzo.
Yeah, so I think Gozen's definitely ahead at this point, then barely.
Yeah, you could say that, because like I said, you know, he has slightly more checks done, and now he's heading to Evil Spirit Island.
Very solid play. It's 9 items there total.
Yeah. 9 checks. Not necessarily items, but 9 checks. And look who's right on his heels. Now, the only real difference here... Ooh, that's not... He does not have a way to clear that. Oh, that's
what enemies are above. Somebody could poison him, potentially. I was gonna get poisoned on these guys here, I bet. These guys here, yep.
He can't.
He's leaving, okay. Yep.
He's flying.
Oh yeah, he's not on the dog.
Oh,
never mind.
He could fly. He could have gotten poisoned on the puddles, but he didn't know that they were there. That's unfortunate.
Well, now Cross is slightly ahead, barely.
Right? And the Psycho Armor. Oh, baby. That's a good find.
Butterflies.
Oh, this is a good game. Butterflies and
Warlocks.
Warlocks. Love it.
I feel like those two are always together.
Well, that's because the pattern tables match, and they're actually in vanilla matched up together.
That would explain it then.
Yeah, in the crypt, in the backside right before Dragon 2, that last room is Butterflies and Warlocks. And that is a Fruit of Lime for cross product. I'm amazed he did not drop it on the ground and then jump 3 times.
Fruit of Lime and a Bow of Truth.
Good choice. Thank you for throwing that on the ground. I appreciate you, Cross. You're doing me right. And I bet Gozen feels great having thrown away that medical herb just to pick up that Fruit of Lime.
One of these runs, I want to keep the Fruit of Lime and get stoned on purpose just to use it.
You do that. And do me a favor. Do it in a race against me, huh?
Used it, I don't think. But...
Yeah. When you do that, do it in a race against me. I'll appreciate you for it.
Well, if you've seen my experience with mummies, I might actually do that.
Mummies, eyeballs, you name it.
Orb of water for cross product.
That's good. Someone asking in chat if you can just shove the Fruit of Lime in the Sick Dolphin's blowhole. You can try it, but I don't think that'll actually get you the desired result. Oh, look at this. Gozen making a play here. He is sword charge glitching to the level 3 water sword so that when he goes through the entire place here, if Sabera happens to be vulnerable to water, he's got everything he needs to clear that out. That is foresight at its finest right there. I love that play. That is excellent. That is actually a fantastic play. I'm gonna have to take a page out of the Gozen book. Yeah, it may not, but you know what? I mean, just the fact to have that, right? Just to have enough foresight to think about that is excellent. Sword charge glitch up to level 3, immediately finds a ball of water. And we're up to 6 mimics now, if I'm not mistaken.
Pretty sure it's 6.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna find out from Cross here. It's not thunder. It's not wind.
Oh, but the vampire is immune.
It's not fire! Gozen looks like an absolute genius right now.
I mean, other than having to tank the vampire, which is not a bad thing, honestly.
No, actually, because that means he doesn't move around. So, yeah, no, Gozen looks like a champ right now. Like, absolutely, that was quite possibly one of the, you know, G-brain plays that I've seen so far in this tournament. No question. And he has no idea he made this G-brain play yet, either. He's actually played extremely carefully here inside of, you know, the fortress. Just so that he, you know, didn't have to do that. Cross, meanwhile, went outside, Sword Charge glitched himself, and he's coming back now for Sabera.
I always forget you have to stab her first. Now I always waste mana, just like that too.
So just like that, this race is entirely even again, simply because of Gozen's G-brain play. Amazing.
Nice.
And a Sacred Shield. I mean, we did mention at the beginning of this race. Yeah, we mentioned at the beginning of this race that these two were pretty well evenly matched, and I don't think it gets any more even than what we're seeing right here. Gozen now, not sure exactly where he wants to go, but he does have all 4 orbs. So, you know, he basically has access to his pick of the lot, and he's going to go, looks like Rage, and then maybe Fog Lamp, Crystalis Plant?
Saber North is still an option also.
Saber North has a lot of peripheral, you know, requirements that a lot of people don't want to be bothered with. I'm not surprised to see them try to wait until they get the Key of Prison if possible, because there's too many other checks.
Not a bad play.
Yeah, and not to mention, you also lose the town of Leaf as a hub.
Well, I know Gozen already has lost that, but I don't know about Cross. I didn't catch whether he could trigger it or not.
Cross triggering the Shiren Massacre here, but it looks like he's going to go ahead and make his way all the way into Goa Fortress. He wants this, and goes and finding Flail guys. Lots and lots of Flail guys. Oh, number 7! Hippity hoppity, another Mimic. Cross getting a little lost, not realizing he just skipped the staircase he needed.
This is a good example of Cross not playing much lately.
Either that or he's just grinding levels because he wants to be level 10 before he goes through. Hey Cross, this isn't vanilla, you don't need to grind!
Iron necklace for Gozen. Oh.
Warp, warp, warp. Yeah, you need to update the tracker for Sabera. Because they have both taken down Sabera 1.
Slacking on my tracking responsibilities.
All good. That's what our good friends in chat are here for. To make sure that when you're slipping, they catch it.
Slipping and sliding.
Opting to use the rabbit boots there so that he can run around with Kelbask. Cross gonna check and see what he's weak against. And it's not wind. Nor is it fire. And it's thunder.
Ooh, yes, it's the best feeling ever.
Night, night.
Any boss you can use this sword on is always really rewarding, satisfying.
And amazingly, because there's a refill right behind it, he doesn't even care about the MP. Just unload. Here we go. And he's rewarded with a Lysis
I would
plant.
have kept that Lysis plant. That's just me.
Alarm flute for Gozen in the Fog Lamp Cave. I didn't see what the first chest was, but that's 2 checks. Because they already have the eyeglass. So that's a pair of checks right there. And a consumable. Keep your eye on Cross, because he's got 3 checks here. Battle armor, the first one. Gozen got turned around.
Yeah, totally. Wrong way. We've all done that at some point.
Yep.
Cross is getting lost here again, which seems to happen every race.
Yeah. Yeah, Sabera 2 and Sabera 2's area and Cross are not friends. Absolutely not.
Get to prison.
Remember I mentioned earlier they're gonna wait to go to Mount Saber North until after they get the key to prison?
Did say
Well, look at what they just found. Yay.
Now, from my experience, when you can go to Goa, it's usually best to go to Goa.
Yeah, I think there's 14 checks here? If I'm not mistaken. 14 total checks in the entire fortress, I think is what it is.
Sounds right? How many are in Mado's area?
You got 2, 4, 5 in Mado's area. You got 3 in Sabera's area. You got 5 in Carmine's area. And then you got 4 bosses, so it's 17. 18 for the one behind Carmine, 19 total. 19. And then if you actually want to count the item across the river, because that's technically, you know, would be Goa required if it wasn't available. 20 total checks. Yeah, that's no joke there.
How many checks are total? 100, right?
There's somewhere in there. I don't have a count off
the checks in one area.
Yeah. So you'll notice here, Cross is at 31 scaling and he's level 10, and it's still taking a year to kill Sabera. Her defense is just tremendous. Probably the boss.
Slow that down more.
Yeah, it's probably the boss that the power ring makes the biggest difference on, outside of Dragon 2, because her defense is just astronomically high.
Wrong button.
Gozen also realizing that Thunder is the sword of choice here and just unleashes on Kelp.
I actually missed that stun. It's hilarious.
I don't blame him. He knows you're talking about him. He just chucked a magic ring.
Yeah, I guess. Don't know.
He totally chucked a magic ring and then consumed a second one. I think he meant to actually equip it and accidentally chucked it. And the Blizzard bracelet. Well, depending on what Mado's weak to, that might be the winner.
Did Cross Product check the item by the river? In here? In Bear's area?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he did.
Okay. I never actually saw him do that.
I'm pretty sure he did. Because I remember him making heading all the way back to the entrance just to re-get his bearings to go and get. Oh, the lucky stab for the butterfly. Look at that. Goes and hot on Cross's heels at this point.
Oh, that's right. It was the key to prison there, wasn't it? That's the other spell.
Yes. Yeah, as a matter of fact, it was. I think so.
Yeah, because the other spot was battle armor. So yeah, he definitely checked.
It's wind against Mado. Oof. That's not your favorite sword.
It's definitely a lot better now that it's slower. Because before, he would not even get hit by it sometimes because he went so fast.
He still doesn't get hit by it a lot of
Well,
times.
sometimes like it would go where he should get hit, and it still wouldn't. At least now he gets hit once most of the time.
Eating a bunch of shurikens there and burning an opal statue. And he takes him down. A top-notch play there, rewarding him with a sweet pair of warp boots for his effort.
Oh,
What? He didn't kick him? Oh, come on, Cross. You're not living up to your potential here. He didn't even kick Stom.
Guess he really cares about winning today.
I think so. Oh, and look at this. Mado 1 is vulnerable to water. Fred.
I'll goes and burn an opal statue on Severa. Flies this plant.
Man, consumable city here.
At this point, we're just missing one bow, right, and one boss.
Yep. And they have access to that one boss. So all Cross has to do, I mean, he's here in Porto. I expect he's going to go right up after it. I mean, this could very well just, you know, end this run right here. It's hard to say.
Yeah, it's pretty unusual that we have no spots, really, that one person has checked, the other one hasn't. Yeah, I'm assuming goes and we'll check all these areas in here.
They've kind of been playing the follow the leader game and just alternating back and forth as to who's the leader.
Not been much, what do you call it? Where they go separate ways, I can't think of the word right now.
Not a lot of divergence.
Divergence, thank you.
So, Cross, gonna sword charge glitch right here, and go into this fight with a level 3 charge when he discovers that it was the flame bracelet necessary to take down Kelby 1. And
Fun fact,
that works in his
the room with
benefit.
the Elder.
He could have. He absolutely could have. However, it really didn't matter. He was...
It does.
I mean, it's going to save him 5 seconds. Not much. And Kelbesk is down, and we get a refresh.
Empowering, wow.
Ooh, that feels good. Getting a power ring is always a good feel. Especially when you already have things like speed boots. You know, the only thing you really would be potentially missing at this point is like warrior ring. Got everything else.
I'm hoping this last bow is on the top of Mount Hydra. Or the back of Stixie, one of the two.
Yeah, be great. And yep, finding another mimic there. That brings us up to 9. Wow, Gozen just getting thumped by the shurikens. A quick reset there, I do not blame. And let's see what Cross is going to find at this last, these last couple spots here. He's got 2 checks left here on Mount Saber North. I would call Thunder Sword the backside of Stixie. It's the deepest check. Speaking of Stixie.
There you go.
I mean, granted, you know, like, if you think in terms of the vanilla game, the right side is not available until later in the game due to the fact you don't have flight. However, in terms of actual depth of dungeon, I would say Thunder Sword is considered the back.
Yeah, okay. Same thing.
No, it's not. It's routed differently now as far as what's the last check, but it's just the deepest. And it looks like Cross gonna head straight to that Stixie. It is 6 checks. Gozen, he's got Mato on the ropes, but it took a
Finally,
lot of resources to get through him.
Yeah, he reset several times because he didn't want to burn his opal. Didn't see if he did this time or not.
He
Yeah,
did.
he did.
Yeah. And now he's gonna take down his Mato one. That is correct, Steve. Stixie is always the right play, except when it's not. And in this case, we don't know if it's the right play or not. Not yet. Oh, boy. Double consumable and a mimic on the right. That's 10? Is that 9 or 10? I think it's 10.
It's 10, I think. So it goes and taking a death on Mato. That hurts.
Yeah, but now he knows. So he should have... Oh, flail guy in the doorway. You shall not pass.
Statue of Onyx. That's another option. I wonder what that turn-in is.
Chances are, that's gonna be Kensu in Swan.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, it has to be, because the other Kensu won the fog lamp, right?
Correct.
Which, did they find the fog lamp yet? They haven't, right?
No, I believe they have the glowing lamp at the moment.
So that could be the final bow as well.
Could be. And that is an 11th mimic. Oh, come on. Come on, Stixie, deliver. 3 mimics, baby. He's like, So now he can make that Slime Kensu play if he remembers that's what it is.
Thinking hard.
Yeah. Looks like he's gonna go for Hydra, though. So the fog lamp this late is actually really good. The fog lamp is not used to unlock the dolphin. This time around, the fog lamp is used to cure Slime Kensu at the back of Goa. So with the trade-ins being shuffled, he is asking for the fog lamp this time. And yes, there is a flute of lime still hanging out there at the barrier location. So our buddy Akahana could be holding on to that final bow. That would be beautiful, wouldn't it?
It would be.
It would be sweet.
I don't know why, but I always love it when he has like the last bow you need. It just cracks me up.
Now Gozen has all his bosses down. It's now his turn to go around the world and just see what he can find. Nope! There it is! Boa-san! So at this point, Cross has entered Go mode at 58 minutes in. And, you know, he's got full control of this race. This is his race to lose now. I find it interesting that he's opting to buy healing as opposed to buying MP for, you know, Thunderstorm.
Yeah, he has 2 rings, but... Well,
it's not a lot when you consider the
really.
town. They also don't have the, he also doesn't have a warrior ring, so the tower's not going to be particularly, simple.
He makes a good point. He is poor.
I mean, he's poor, but he also, you know, isn't super grinded. You know, I mean, he could go and get a couple thousand gold in short order by gaining a level.
He'd sell his sacred shield, or...
That's not going to be worth anything at this point. I think at this point
It's
probably
not,
worth
no.
like 300. See, now he's going to try to grind, which... You know, he's taking a lot of damage here. He took 2 bops because he's got that, got the battle armor on, so he can't be poisoned. And those things at 40 scaling are doing ouch damage.
Yeah,
So as I
for
mentioned-
some reason decides to do Hydra after this, he maybe has a chance, but he'll find Stixie Key in here, and it's probably not what he's...
So yeah, he gained 1 level, and he had 2,300 gold. So...
Yeah, you made a good point.
He could have easily, you know, done his grinding beforehand and then done a little shopping, but... Hey,
catch how much the rings cost, so...
Well, I would just buy Fruits of Power. Because they're buffed, they're worth 64 MP, so 2 of them, you know, is going to get him 3 casts.
True.
But here's the thing. Because he bought all that healing and doesn't have a lot of MP, this, you know, if the tower is a struggle for him, that could give Gozen the opportunity to catch up. I'll have to see how it goes. So Gozen is making his way up Hydra. Is he going to go for the Sun Cave? Probably not. He's probably going to go straight for Stixie, which, you know, logically speaking, is the right play. But if he decides to do, you know, Bow Sun Cave first, he could be right back in.
Nope.
Nope. He's going to make the play into Stixie, and we know that he's not going to find what he's looking for. Turn the music up! Hi! Anytime you get into the tower. Oh, look at that. A single thunderstorm for the bronze robots. This one's going to be over pretty quick here for Cross.
Oh. Have a waste there, but...
Yeah, it's a thunderstorm and a single level 2 shot, just like it is in vanilla. So, yeah, definitely a waste there. Don't do it, Cross! Oh, okay.
Okay.
Whatever you say. You're in control. Oh, hi, helicopter.
It's always hilarious when somebody else gets hit by a helicopter, but not when it happens.
Yeah, the best one is when you're, you know, fighting on the first floor and a helicopter bashes you up into the door. That's beautiful. Yeah. Resetting your entire progress on the first floor. I don't know anybody that's happened to. So, that bronze robot, Cross was hoping that he would walk all the way downstairs and go out of the way, but he didn't make it down the stairs. So he had to walk all the way to the other side, and he's going to have to walk all the way back now.
Gozen decided to check the... that windmill, the lighthouse.
Oh, the alarm! Oh, never mind. No, it's not. I was going to say the alarm flute is shuffled, but it's not. I thought it was going to be the insect flute, because if he kept blowing it, it wasn't doing anything, but I guess he was just a pixel off from the right spot he needed to be to make the turn in. Gozen! Go back to Hydra! Do it!
These two played during the Swiss rounds, didn't they?
They sure did. In fact, it was a first matchup, if I'm not mistaken. First round matchup.
Probably, it sounds right. Can't remember who won, though. I think Gozen won.
Yeah, Gozen did win the first race. And Cross has won the second.
Gozen's just on a wild goose chase at this point.
Yeah, unfortunately, he's heading into out. Cross, meanwhile, making his way into Dinah. We should see a dot done here in probably about 30 to 35 seconds from Cross. If I have to guess, he's probably going to be about a 105.11, 105.15. Right in.
Just a little bit faster than the last race we had. Show.
You know, I've already seen the dot done, but I'm gonna wait until he finishes to announce it and gloat. And crossproduct has finished with an official SRL time of 1:05:15. Gozen, meanwhile, taking the child back into Oak, but first he's gonna make a pit stop over here and fight a bug.
I should be joining in any time now.
Yep. Big winner. Oh man. The mosquito! No!
Oh, wow.
Oh my god! Okay, as a vanilla runner of the game, I can't tell you how many times that has happened to me. That stupid death mosquito is the biggest jerk ever.
The best part is it does more damage than the insect itself. Makes no sense.
Yeah, it is meaner than the boss himself. Absolutely. Yeah, I would be mad at that one too. That's a tough one. He's like, forget that. Take the kid back. And over here on Cross's side, we're gonna get to see it. Here it comes. Ready, guys? Get your Jeff Peters ready. Cross is getting set to join us right now. Cross, GG.
Hey, thanks, man.
He got his thing right when you said that.
Yeah.
Mm.
And
Going
Jeff
on
Peters. So I gotta say, you every play that you made tonight felt like it was the right play, especially early. Your routing at the early game was just spot on.
Not when I went back to Tornell for an antidote.
Well,
I felt really bad about that, especially
It wasn't a bad play.
I should have gone to Dragon first and gotten the Storm Bracelet, so I even knew that I could have saved that trip. But, oh well.
That could have been worse.
Yeah. I mean, it was just like the first two items were Shell Flute and Change, so you're like, It was pretty obvious that you wanted to go to the Goa area pretty early on. Like, it felt like the sword was going to be back there, so I didn't hesitate.
Yeah, we were really hoping the Ghetto Flight, we were talking about at the beginning, the Ghetto Flight would be a thing, and then when we see Change and Shell Flute, it was like, okay,
Come on,
and then the next item was, yeah, it was like, then you found, it was like Windmill Key, then Rabbit Boots, and then I think it was the Carissa Plant. It's like, oh, okay, well, we know where we're going.
Yeah, the Carissa plant and the Ivory statue were together in the Windmill Cave. And I feel like I should have checked with the ferryman's daughter to see what item I needed, but I was like, well, it doesn't matter. Whatever trade item I pick up is going to be probably the progression, right? And then you get two of them, and you're like, well, okay. But you can't forget Akahana's friend. Like when they send you that Ivory statue and the change, I almost pieced out. I almost walked straight to the Oasis cave to check the one item, right? And I was like, oh, wait a second, I changed Ivory. Yeah, I was really close to doing it. I think you saw me leave Goa Town and walk. I think I actually hit reset because
Yeah,
walking
you
onto
did.
the overworld set the checkpoint, so I just hit reset. Yeah.
And Gozen, he ended up making every check he possibly could have prior to going back and realizing, oh, this is the only thing I have left.
Oh no.
Yeah, so
I
his
think,
Sword of Fire was a good 3 or 4 minutes behind yours.
I was wondering if he would have gone to Big Pyramid after he got flight, because he told me that in our practice race earlier in the week, he said that he actually checked Big Pyramid without a sword, because you can get the one item in there.
Right. Yeah, and neither one of you actually did that. And on top of it, Gozen, he went and did like some stuff on Mount Saber South, never made it out onto Cordell Plains, and oh man, he's about to get thumped here really, really badly. Nope, he escaped. Wow, that was slippery. But yeah, he ended up not getting the Sword of Water because he never made it out onto Cordell Plains until after he got the Sword of Wind. So his
also didn't
his
get
routing
the
there
teleport
was
spot. That was almost bigger than not getting the sword in the way.
right.
That's kind of funny. Is I actually came into this cave here first. I
Oh,
tied
he
to the
did
flail
too.
man, and I was like, nope, just gonna go to Bryn Mawr.
Oh.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That, like they weren't weak to fire, but they were weak to water. So when I came back with the Sword of Water and was able to defeat them, it was much better. And yeah, Sword of Thunder was the magic ring next to Tornell, I believe. So what's he missing? A bow?
So he's missing the bow of sun. He hasn't been
Pretty
on
sure he's
Hydra.
forgotten about Hydra.
Oh, the bow and the sun and moon are on the same spot on the tracker. I see.
Right. So at this point, today's stream is brought to you by the letter flail, as demonstrated by the number of times that both of our runners got their faces bashed in by flail.
Yeah, right.
As Gozen is looking at taking potentially another death here, as these flail guys are just hammering him terribly.
I think Bow of Sun, that was in Hydra? Down Hydra, I think?
Hydra is the ledge
Okay.
chest on the right side.
Pretty sure he's forgotten about Hydra.
Yeah, I can't remember if Stixie had anything, but...
No.
Yeah, do I want to do
Yeah.
Stixie for 3 items or Hydra? Or Stixie for 6 items or Hydra for 3? I'll go
That
Stixie.
wasn't Shell Flute. What was it?
No, it was
Fog
Yeah, it was the fog lamp. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, the fog lamp, which I think is what Kensu wanted in Swan.
Right.
I didn't have paralysis.
And no, Kensu, Slime Kensu wanted. The
Oh,
fog
Slime Kensu, that's right. I was
And,
tempted to go back and do the one-off, but
lamp. Yeah, I don't think it.
I was going for density here, so that's why I went to Stixie. That's 6 items, and then Hydra for 3 items. And like, yeah, this seed just kind of, as long as you went to where the bosses were, you know, the story mode progression, that's where most of your items were. So I think it wasn't too bad.
No, I mean, unlike the last seed, you know, this one, the last one really required like almost a full clear. This one, there was a number of areas that could have been skipped entirely. They just didn't have anything.
What's up there?
That is the slightly faster way to get up to Tornell. So I was going to mention that to you, that it seemed like, I was like, I wonder if he even knows that that's a thing. So if you fly up the slope there.
Okay, yeah, I see where he is now. Where
Yeah.
you come in and you go into the little steps room. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, I guess the first time in the cave, you need to check the 2 items, so you want to go the normal way. But coming back to turn in the bracelet, which I assume is what Gozen's doing here.
Yep. For
Antidote.
his antidote.
Hey.
And yeah, he's got to be pretty irritated at this point, because now he's got to be thinking to himself, what have I missed? And
Yeah,
it
that's rough.
seems-
Like, his scaling's 45 right now. I think mine was 40 at the end.
Right, he's completely forgotten about Hydra. Because he's making every one-off possible at this point. And has just, you know, seems to have completely forgotten about Hydra.
Yeah, I guess, did he do the Portoa caves?
Yep.
Yeah, wow. That was actually probably why I finished so fast, was I just found the bow. Like, Portoa caves were next after Hydra. And you can probably...
Oh, man.
Oh, man. Wise guys here. The wise guys giving the antidote. You could probably make an argument that I should have at least done Fog Lamp Cave before Hydra, but oops. I stooped into a success, I guess.
I don't know if it's necessarily a bad way to do Hydra first.
So it looks like Gozen's gonna now go and turn in that fog lamp and find out what
Oh,
our old
no.
boy Slime Kensu's holding on to. He stabbed Dio because Dio had garbage. I don't blame him for that. I'd stab him too.
Yeah, I think I rerouted the Dio after I got telepathy, but I don't remember what it was. I'm not mad at him. I mean, he's right next to a warp point, so you can't blame him.
It was a consumable.
So is there anything they don't have at this point other than the bow?
Warrior ring.
Oh, I bet he has Warrior Ring.
You know what? You know
Could be
what
at
the
the
fun
top.
thing about this seed was? We got good use out of rabbit boots. We didn't find a better equipable for a while. Like, basically it was all in rabbit boots until I got speed boots.
Well,
It made me
between-
feel like the TAS. If you've ever seen the TAS of this game, if you haven't, I recommend it. It's really fun to watch. It's just fun being able to charge my sword while moving, just like the TAS.
So
What did I miss?
between the rabbit boots and Dio's pendant. They're oh man, Gozen's got some choice words for.
He feels like he forgot something.
He
What does that mean?
thinks he
forgot
just
rage?
missed a single check when he really missed a whole dungeon.
Yeah, he thinks he forgot rage. It looks like.
Yeah, he's not.
I'm not watching the commentary stream, so I'm probably way behind. Oh, it looks like he did miss that though, because he got the message from me.
No, the message I think replays every time you go
does
in
it?
there. Yeah.
Find out in a second. I know, I've seen they gave you a consumable, I'm pretty sure, and a dolphin as well, so.
Yeah,
And then-
Dolphin gave me the medical herb back. That's always fun.
Yeah, and then she told you about the magic of flute of lime out there on the ocean.
Hey, you can turn in your fetch quest for another fetch quest.
Right? might be the case here.
All the herbs.
Just in case one's not
Dumps his
enough.
bag out and give me a ride.
Just throw it on the ground. Where did I leave the bow? No, he never did this.
Wow.
But he...
An antidote.
So I think every wise man had an antidote, right?
Oh my
They do have
good
one.
lord.
In,
Hell no, I think Zip would have
Shyra.
magic ring actually.
Yeah.
it's 3.
He's stuck.
1, 2.
By the way, the dolphin was like laying on the ground like, oh god, I'm so sick, please. I need a medical herb. And then you hand him a medical herb, he's like, psych! I don't need that, yeah, I'm out.
And then
peace."
maybe he just needed a nibble and he gives it back to you.
I want organic herbs.
Or like, here's the thing. Maybe he has a medical herb, but he's just too weak to lift it to his mouth.
What's he
If it's
gonna lift it with, his hand?
I don't know.
Oh, I think
What
you
do
remember.
dolphins use?
Or not.
Telepathy? Or telekinesis? No, that's right. Dolphins
man.
are telepathic, but they're not telekinetic. So that's...
I just want to say that I am actually highly disappointed in you for not at least kicking Stom once. And you just zipped right on by. You didn't even look at him.
I mean, you can't goof off when you're racing someone like Gozen. He's a really good runner.
No, this is true.
Yeah,
In fact,
this is unfortunate, but he really does have the skill to beat me and handily.
Oh, I think he figured it out. Yep, here we go.
So they came in here once to get that first item, which was the sword, the Rapier sword, right? Must have
Correct, the
forgotten
sword of
he didn't get the
fire.
rest.
I mean, he doesn't have to go far. I think it's the first chest here.
Yep, so he's gonna find it right away, and he might get up and walk away.
He needs an antidote now. They kept trying to give it to him.
They're called wise men for a reason. They know.
Please, take this antidote. You're going to need it. Forget it. He's gonna be like the dolphin over on the side of the road here soon. Sir, do you have an antidote?
Yeah, it was
Anybody-
unfortunate that Sahara didn't have magic rings. He's got a better readout than I did. I think I had like 2 magic rings and a fruit of power, and he's got 3 magic. He's doing fine. He'll finish up pretty easily. Oh man, my Dragon 2 fight was just spot on. It was everything I could ask for.
Yeah, no, you had a solid end of the game. No problems at all. I mean,
Except
you
when
did...
when that one brown robot walked on the staircase, and I thought he was done with, and then I had to walk back so that he could walk like 2 more pixels and get out. That was annoying.
When you were sitting over on the side, you're standing outside the door with a full charged sword, like, come on, I'm waiting to kill you. I made the mention. I was like, you know, he probably forgot that, you know, that robot didn't go all the way down the stairs, so he's gonna have to
I
walk
just don't
all the way
understand
there.
the mechanics. I didn't know that they had to go all the way down. I
So
would have
what it
nudged
is
him a little bit if I knew that.
They don't have to go all the way down. What they have to do is that there's a spot that's basically exactly like the bridge in both Portoa and in Cordell Plains. So it's what they call a seamless transition. It's essentially an exit point. So when they cross over the exit, it's basically that the robot's moving onto a different map. And when it does that, the game no longer detects that the robot is there, and it's no longer, if it's out of sight, it's out of mind to the game.
Oh well, it's
So
better
that's how
than
it
last time this happened, where I actually chased the robot down the stairs and everything respawned. I think that I lost my race to Demarine because of that.
Yeah, very much happened. I remember that.
He doesn't believe in voodoo. Maybe he'll
He's
hit
using the other voodoo.
I don't know this voodoo. Where you stand in the little.
So
ledge.
here's how that works. In order to manipulate how Dragon moves, when your X and Y coordinates are both either even or odd, then he has a 50% chance after doing every single action of opening his chest for lasers. The thing is, that position that he walked to down there is one that Steve discovered, that when you walk to it, it actually sets your coordinates to the correct location. Normally, when you walk in and take a hit, when we used to take a hit off,
it pushes you into that spot.
it pushes you
similar
one
spot.
pixel over, so it sets you onto the correct coordinates. And that's why you take one hit normally at the beginning of that fight, because you're trying to manipulate that pattern out of him. But now we know that that's not necessary as far as that's concerned. You can still walk up, like Dragon Dark does it, where he walks up and he gets himself into position so he can just tink right off of Dragon's wings, which don't do any damage, but will still put him into the correct position. Like early on, it used to be like, oh yeah, if you run into the wings on Dragon, you're more likely to get the pattern. And yes, but only if you do it once, because it wasn't actually understood how it worked. And then Steve actually went and looked into the code to figure out exactly how it works.
Cool.
Yeah, that's why we know that works the way it does now.
It's nice we get more consistent strats for any percent runs.
Right, and actually, believe it or not, that knowledge is used in any percent as well to try to better manipulate that. So yeah, it was just as useful there as it was in the randomizer. Goes and stabbing away at these robots. He's showing us what it means to pull off the Steve. I mean, granted, that was a any percent strat before it was, another strat. But Steve's one of the only people that actually utilizes it here in the randomizer.
Axeman does sometimes.
No! Man, that helicopter was giving him nowhere to go.
Yeah, I was worried when he didn't heal there.
Robot, hey, this way. Today's stream is brought to you by the number H for helicopters, as they are
That's not a number.
proving their worth.
Number
They're not
H and Lower
helicopters,
Flail.
they're birds.
Helicopters do fall into the bird category, absolutely.
They're whirly birds.
Yes, the letter flail and the number H.
I did like going to Kelby 1 and getting both refresh and power ring.
Yeah, that was great. You can't ask for much better than that.
Alright.
And you
Except
also
maybe
got
Bow
it.
of Sun.
Yeah, you also got it late enough, that it was like, oh, that would have been great 20 minutes ago.
I appreciate that it gave Rabbit Boots some love, though. Rabbit Boots were really useful in the bosses as well, too. Did you guys talk about my sword charge glitch? Because I didn't feel like doing real boss fights.
So, funny you should mention that, because believe it or not, when you when you entered into Sabera's castle, you and Gozen were like steps apart from each other, like
wow,
neck
really?
and neck.
Oh, this is
during
good. This
that
is
race.
good. This is a good, test.
So Gozen,
Timing test.
he before he walked into the castle, he immediately sword charge glitched to water
Oh
with
no,
the thought of
vampire.
because well no. Because if Sabera happened to be weak to water, he would already be charged for it, but then he could change to all the other swords afterwards.
Okay. So
which
he had all the
stuff.
bracelets but water. I had all the bracelets but fire.
So he G-brained that,
Tell me,
and it
tell me the
paid off.
freaking. Oh, did it? Oh, awesome.
Yeah, because water was what Sabera 1 was weak to. So he G-brained that play,
Oh, I
and it was
didn't
like,
do
oh
that.
my
I should
god.
have done that.
Yeah, had to
It
leave.
would have been funny if the vampire's always resistant to one of the 4, right?
Yeah,
so
today
it
it
would
was water.
Was it water?
Yes, it
Oh
was.
no. Did he go back out after the
No,
vampire?
no, he just because if you fight the vampire without the right sword, when you stab him, he doesn't move. He waits for his full
Oh.
timer to go down. So you could basically get like a ton of his health down in one cycle without any problems. So Gozen basically just shanked him, with no issues. I think he only moved
Nice.
once.
It would have been nice to see if we enter Siberia at the same time. He fights with a level 2 sword, and I go back out and reset for a level 3 sword to see which would have been faster.
That's what I'm saying. He walked in with a level 3 water sword.
Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah.
what I'm saying is, if he fought Siberia with a level 2 water sword, to see if it's worth the time of walking out and resetting. To
It
get the right,
would have
to get
been
the right
because
sword.
Sabera has really high defense. So
Yeah,
just being
that's
able
what
to
I was
cut through her
thinking.
defense.
I was
you
glad I
left
didn't have to
going.
do that for Mato too. Especially, first of all, shout outs to like every boss being weak against wind. That's so annoying. But Mato 2, I went in the first time from the back, right? And I was like, all right, I'm gonna go see what Mato's weakness is. And I tried the Sword of Thunder, and then I left. Like, I didn't even bother to try to find out what his weakness was. I just found out it was not Thunder. So that felt bad. That was like a key part of my strategy that I forgot. But I could have done Goa entirely from the back had I remembered to check the weakness and then come in.
Just be happy that they made Tornado Bracelet better. Could have been
Did
worse.
they? Oh, I didn't know that. Well, better as in just up the damage. It doesn't do more like
No,
extra hits.
it
does
moves slower, so it actually gets
Oh.
now.
Oh, cool. Yeah, shout outs to Steve for doing stuff. He doesn't have an opal statue. He's got a barrier though. There's a spot here where you can be safe against. They call them revenge beams.
Yeah, if you have barrier, you stand on top of the arrows.
It's like it's like how it used to be, except you also need to use barrier.
Right.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah, that was one of the axe discoveries. I mean, I didn't even realize that was the thing at first.
Yeah, he beat me in the race because of that one. I didn't
Yeah,
know.
he did. He went after the turrets, and he just walked right up, and it was like, what does he do? Wait, what? That works?
I think this time he beat me by 3 seconds or something stupid.
Yeah, very, very possible. Wow, that was unfortunate. He just got dead framed. Oof.
He's not whispering sweet nothing.
No, I don't whisper anything.
Just forget this.
Yeah, tired of dying. He's gonna take down the turrets. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's a bad play. After a couple of deaths, why not? I need to go back, by the way, and clip our little discussion of the antidote in Sahara. That was beautiful.
Someone clipped something.
That was Gozen
Stomp.
going out of his way to stomp all over Stom. When he had nothing, he was trying to figure out what to do, so he's like, I'll just go and, stomp on this guy a little bit here and jump up and down on him 3 times.
See if this jogs my memory.
Yeah. Or at least take my frustrations out
Yeah,
on
this
this
is some frustration now.
sleeping-
Stress relief.
yeah, sleeping guy here, quote on. Oh wait, never mind, he's already dead. Alright, Gozen. Finish her off. And Gozen is going to finish up this race with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 29 minutes, and 53 seconds. GG. So Gozen should be joining us here in the booth in just a second. I do see he's in the setup. And entering into the call now is Gozengatta. GG, sir.
GG, man.
I know you're not particularly happy with that end game there. Why don't you take us through what was going on in your head there?
So I just had a big stoops moment where I fell into the trap of, okay, I'm gonna check Stixie, checked all of Stixie, and went, okay, this is a bust. And I made a mental note. I said, I still have to do the rest of Hydra. And then I started routing the other pieces, and I went, okay, it's bow hunt time. One-offs are quick. Started doing the one-offs, and I went, oh no. I'm missing something. There's something in my mind that I'm forgetting, and just completely forgot about Hydra, and just stooped it and went, oh yeah, I didn't do Rage check either. Goes to Rage. I'm gonna be really upset if this is Dolphin percent, and we actually did this live, and I did it again. Okay, it wasn't Dolphin percent. Wait, that means I forgot something else.
And we saw you take your frustrations out on Stom there. It wasn't very mean.
Yeah, the second I realized it, I went, well, Stom's getting a visit. And I went, hey, buddy, how are you doing? Why are you taking a nap on the ground? Oh, I don't feel so good. There was a giant attack. Beware. The pinball ninja.
2 hours ago.
So, something else that's actually really funny. You need to go back and rewatch this race. Right as you're heading into Sahara at the very end. Because you were given a lot of antidotes by some wise men right at the end of the game. In fact, I think you got like 3 in a row.
I don't even want to talk about it.
And then as you proceeded to throw each and every one of them away and stomp them into the ground and smash them into a million pieces, right before you walked into Sahara, a particular event happened.
Right before you got the last bow.
Do you happen to remember what that was, Gozen?
I believe, if I recall, I got poisoned.
I mean, those wise men were very wise, trying to help you out.
They
You
were.
just spit in their face.
They were. Some might actually call them prophets instead of wise men.
And, yeah, so, unfortunately, we were, figuring that you were going to end up like the dolphin over there on the side of the road, begging for anybody to come by and hand you an antidote. The best part about it was when you did go to the dolphin, you're like, oh, could it be? Could it be the dolphin? Here, take this medical herb. Psych, I didn't need that. I'm out.
Do you remember what he gave me? It was another antidote.
Yeah, and then Asina handed you one, or tried to hand you one, right beforehand.
Oh, okay. I was curious as to what she had. I'm like, whatever. I'm not even gonna reset for this.
Yep.
So for now, Stom and Asina, not Stom, Kinsu and Asina all gave you antidote.
Yeah, Zebu had a magic ring. The other ones were all like, here, take this antidote. You're gonna need it.
And I think after all those fellow guys you had so much fun with, I think you found an antidote there as well. Pretty sure.
Yeah, so today's stream was brought to you by the letter flail and the number H for helicopter. That was what today's stream was brought to us by. And both of those were in honor of both of you. But also Gozen. Oh, yeah, Cross. Hey, why don't you tell them what your name was?
Well, I originally tried to make my name Stopzen, but it didn't fit, so I changed it to Nozen.
Oh my lord!
Did you try to do Nozen also?
Best inside joke ever.
Yes, it's a great inside joke. Also, he could have. The only thing that could have been better was if we would have made it Calm 3.
I hate you so much right now.
That's another inside joke, by the way.
Very rarely calm 4, by the way.
Not very rarely.
Okay, so I have one more question on this seed. We can't really call it the Gozen spot because it's more like the Gozen mountain. I don't really know what to say.
We can call it the Gozen ledge. How's that?
Okay, I guess that works.
I mean, if I did it more than once, sure, but it's
No.
one of those like.
No, it
Hey,
only
Axe
takes
didn't
one
do it more
time.
than
That's
once.
not how it works,
Tail
Gozen.
didn't do it more than once.
The Axe didn't do it more than once.
I'm pretty sure we've caught Axe doing that in another race.
No. Axe just did it on, like, live air in front of thousands. Like,
Yeah, thousands.
I don't know who else might have done that today.
What'd he do?
Forgot about a spot all the way up until the very last check.
That happens sometimes.
Yep, and that's how you get a spot named after you. So we now have the Gozen Ledge.
Just be thankful that the spot named after you isn't Sanctuary Chest or Blind's Hut or something.
This is true. And yes, you should feel honored. There's only so many locations that we can give names to, and one of them is forever christened with yours.
1 out of 108. Let's go, baby.
Is that it? It seems like more.
I think there actually might be more than that. I don't know. I know it's somewhere around 100 and something.
Steve said it somewhere here in the chat earlier.
I thought it was 123.
Steve, what was it? Do you remember offhand?
About 90 checks, 112 slots, 7 unused after magic, 3 to 4 consumables, and 11 or so unused armor slots.
So what's the total again?
Quick cross, you're good at math.
112 slots, I guess.
12? Okay. Oh, it's 90 checks. It's 90 actual checks. So out of 90 locations, you have one of them named after you, sir. You should be honored.
Well, only like 85 more people, and one of those days it could be you.
It could be, but
I
it hasn't
almost
been.
had one.
I've almost had one as well. In fact, I almost had one in a race against Nightdew, which we should call that the Nightdew spot, because it ended up being his location. The Power Ring spot.
Yeah, Axe also missed that one time.
Well, if it's shared, it's not really your spot.
I feel like it's more Night Dudes than Axes. Yes, and
I agree. Well, gentlemen, do we have anything else to add to this before we wrap this one up?
Mountains are
I don't guess
hard,
so.
okay.
So, looking at the matchups here, Cross, your opponent is Nightdew for next week.
Speaking of Night Dude,
Yep.
Alright.
And if Gozen, your opponent, will be the loser of the Tornell Sho Fukamachi match.
Oh man.
And then the Demarine will face off against the loser of the Dragon Dark and Me match. So yeah, we've got our next round set. You guys actually get a break, believe it or not, this week, because there are no matches until this first round is done. This next round is completed. So yeah, you guys got a week off. Well, that's going to go ahead and do it for us. Thank you very much, Speed Gaming, for hosting our tournament. Appreciate it to all the viewers who are here tonight, enjoying this great Crystalis Randomizer tournament action with us. And for my co-commentator, Tornell, and our runners, Crossproduct and Gozengatta, we thank you, and we'll see you on the next season.
Thanks for commentating.
Always.
bro, always fun.